Welcome to AnyHoop podcast with any host. It's your boy JC.
Your man 4-5.
And we talking about basketball. Alright, so you know how we like to start with our thoughts going on in the season. And there's been a lot going on in the season. We got a lot to talk about. First, I want to start off with the Bucks because I seen Chris Middleton come back. What was his first game? It was on TV.
I think it was against the Lakers.
The Lakers, yeah. It was on the Lakers.
That game lost against the Lakers.
Or maybe it was a game right before that.
No, it was definitely
Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came back. He was hooping. It wasn't like Chris Middleton snapping like, oh, he about to score 35 or like how he was in the playoffs or whatever. But it was good to see him back because he was making his shots. And then the game right after that, he made even more shots. So it was good to see him back in full effect. They got Wesley Matthews back. So that's a defender, you feel me? He like a Drew Holiday type player. So coming off the bench. So I like the way they looking. They already was looking scary. Are they number 2 in the league?
Yeah, I think so. Behind the Celtics, right?
Yeah, behind the Celtics. I think they're number 2. Yeah, number 2 in the East. So listen, bro, they looking good, man. They looking real good. So on the East, I feel like my pick is strong on the East. What's your thoughts on the
Milwaukee?
Bucks? Yeah,
I just think the thing about Milwaukee is they're at that point. Same point with another team that we're going to talk about later, but the Warriors, they're at that point where like after you win a championship, you have to after you win a championship, you're just in the spot where the regular season does matter. Regular season always matters, but you can make the seeding. It's just once it gets to the playoffs, it's basically any man's game, and as long as you got home field advantage for like at least 1 or 2 of those rounds, you're pretty good. But they're still rolling. They still have pretty good veterans, and it doesn't seem like they're getting older just yet. So, or like too old just yet. So I think it just works out, and they're keeping the depth, and a lot of the guys are on the same page, which is big, and it helps when you've won a championship.
Speaking of getting old and also winning the championship, the Warriors. How do you feel about the Warriors so far starting off? Like at first, I told y'all maybe last podcast or 2 podcasts ago, I done said that I'm worried about the Warriors on the defensive tip, and they haven't seemed to get any better. And the bench hasn't seemed to be playing any better. So I'm a little concerned with them. They had the same record or worse than the Mavericks, and the Mavericks ain't got nobody. You feel me? But the Warriors do. So it's totally different.
The Dallas Lucas ain't got nobody.
You feel me? The Dallas Lucas ain't got nobody.
Exactly.
You feel me? So like, listen, man, the Warriors, look, Steph looks amazing. And it's crazy because Steph looks so good and everybody else do not look as good as Steph right now. Like, Clay is struggling out there, y'all. I hate to say it, but I told you, he's struggling out there. He's struggling. They got to get it together. Listen, it's only the first quarter of the season.
It's definitely.
So, there's a lot of time left.
Maybe they'll catch one by the All-Star break.
Maybe after the All-Star break. There's a lot of teams who catch on after the All-Star break, and it's good after that. But either way, they're going to have to get it together. I'm trying to tell you.
One thing about the Warriors is a thing that we all fell in love with the offseason. They basically won with a perfect mix of, veterans, and then they had, a lot of, young players that we didn't even see as assets, just young players who could, come move in. But, we forgot that a lot of those youngest players, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, even James Wiseman, he didn't even play in the finals. Like, those guys didn't really play very, crazy minutes in the finals, if you ask me. But, when it's coming down to it, it's looking like a lot of those guys aren't, deep in the rotation or they're off and on. So I think those young guys are good, but I wouldn't be against them taking those young assets outside of Jordan Poole and just, probably getting a veteran, probably getting, an Alex Caruso kind of guy. I know we've seen Steve Kerr talking to Alex Caruso after the Warriors Bulls games. You know how that goes. But definitely getting somebody who's more of a win now because, we look at the teams, the dynasties of before, the teams that have won rings, multiple rings. The Heat were one of the oldest teams in the league. The Lakers, when they had Kobe and Paul Gasol, one of the oldest teams in the league. Even the Spurs dynasty, as they were getting older, one of the oldest teams in the league. So I feel like they should focus more on trying to win now and then figure that stuff out later because you have the culture. People will come there now. So that's just my opinion though.
So you would trade
Kuminga,
do you
Moody,
think are
Wiseman.
they in a position right now they have to trade?
Not necessarily right now.
But do you think come come All-Star time.
Yeah, come trade deadline for sure. Definitely start looking. Especially right now, I think the West is in a place where it's kind of wide open.
It is definitely wide open.
But the thing that you have against everyone else in the West is experience and Stephen Curry. So I definitely do see them getting better, trying to get better off that off the bench rather than dealing with younger guys. You seen what LeBron did when he didn't win the chip as many times as he wanted to, but when he did in his later years, he definitely made sure it was with older guys. You know what I mean? People who knew how to win right now.
Because mind you, Steph is having a similar year to that that unanimous MVP season, if not a better season.
Yeah.
And look at where they at now versus where they at then.
Yeah, I personally think that 2019 season, when he didn't even make the playoffs, he lost against the Warriors. I think that season was better than that MVP season. It's just as far as individuality, but they just didn't win as much. But I definitely do think he's probably the best he's ever been.
Yeah, so, this is top 3 seasons for Steph Curry.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Y'all need to they need to get it together. I ain't gonna say y'all need to get him help because they got help over there. He just need to get it together. People need to start playing their roles. I feel like that's the theme in the league right now. It's just some of these teams aren't teams that need an extra piece. Sometimes people just need to play their roles.
Yeah.
And it just look a little bit better. So I feel like the Mavs are better than their record right now. But people aren't playing their roles right now and not living up to that's a team that lives and dies by the 3. Yeah. And I've seen a couple games where the 3 wasn't working for the role players, especially when they on the road. And the 3s aren't hitting. They're not seeing it go down in the basket.
And that's what they've been working on.
Mm-hmm. So Luke over there dying, sweating, breathing, all looking like this, like it's the flu game every night, you feel me, pouring his heart out, scoring 40 points every night.
Yeah, exactly.
And, sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. It shouldn't be like that. He shouldn't be dropping 40 and losing like that. And the fact that the Warriors got a worse record, I'm pretty sure. Let me pull this up. Yeah, because I don't want to miss.
I will say though, which is you know what I mean. It's like they keep kind of showing you.
They do have a worse record.
Same thing with Luka. Keeps showing you he loses a game to the Pistons, but then turns around and just manhandles the Suns.
Right.
I mean, so same thing with the Warriors. It's when they went against the Celtics, which was a important regular season game because that was the team that you just beat in the finals. And I don't know if you got to see any of that game, but
yeah, I did.
They were definitely it looked like they were on. It looked like
night, right? Yeah.
No, that wasn't last night. This was
another game because they played last night too.
I thought last night was Lakers versus Boston. Am I tripping?
That was the 10:00 game, the 7:30 game.
Yeah, I'm talking about Warriors versus Celtics though. This was last
Celtics.
Yeah, Celtics. Yeah, I was talking about Celtics. You know what I mean? So it seemed like they still had their car. So it just seems like once they get to the playoffs, depending on where they're facing, if the matchup isn't there for the other team, they could still get it together. But still, we got to see something for the regular season. You definitely don't want to end the regular season. Where are they seated at right now?
They 10th.
Yeah, 10th. You definitely don't want to end the season to play. Yeah. So
they
come
down
on.
there. Yeah,
come on, get it together.
And guess who's 11? Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not giving them 3 minutes like I'll be giving them all the other weeks. They suck. Get it together. That's it. That's all. Y'all
blow it
suck.
Up.
My man saying blow it up, and that's a shame. Y'all just got together, and they talking about blowing it up, bro. This is what the world talking about right now. Y'all really gotta get it together. I like Anthony Edwards.
I do.
Get it together. You feel me?
Dream to the Mavericks.
Yo, please, bro. Nah, we ain't even gonna talk about fantasy.
We'll talk about that another day.
Yeah, we not even talk about fantasy. I want to talk about the Sixers, okay? Because it's home team, hometown. So we gotta talk about the Sixers, bro. And I want your opinion on how it's looking now. How you feeling about the team so far? Because there's high expectations for the team. I'm talking about going to the finals for real. If they don't go to the finals, I think it's a failed season and they hit. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And so, you think they still on the path to get to the finals?
I don't know yet. There's a lot going on right now. I still think the Bucks and the Celtics are top 2 teams in the East. And I think as far as just an overall team, and how we're doing so far, we would be that team that's right behind them. Not as far as seeding goes, just as far as how I feel overall. Actually, can't forget about the Cavs. It's hard to.
Cavs are going crazy.
Yeah, Cavs are going crazy. But
you think they are? Do you think they are better than Brooklyn?
The Sixers?
The Sixers.
Yes, I think by the end of the season.
Me too.
Past 10 games, Brooklyn's been hooping. I can't forget about that. And Kevin Durant, he must have heard the podcast. KD, if you hear me, let us know.
No, because we left you off, and they on a 4-game winning streak right now.
I mean, but KD's doing his thing. I mean, he's been hooping all year. But
I was just about to say, KD been doing the same thing he's been doing. He's been hooping. Kyrie. they got Kyle back.
Yeah, exactly.
They got Kyle back. He's playing ball right now.
I didn't even expect Kyle to come back, to be honest with you. You know, we're not going to talk about that.
I know what you mean, but yeah. No, he came back. He hooping, so like, that's your supporting cast right there.
But as far as the Sixers, I want to just note, like, that blowout against the Kings, that's a big statement to me because I know the Kings are not a top team in the West, but they're like a team. I wouldn't necessarily call them contenders, but yeah, they're definitely a dog in the West. So being that we could beat a dog, especially in the other conference, a team that we're only going to see 2 times a year and that we don't even get to see like that. Like, we never really got to see Darren Fox like that. So I definitely do appreciate we got to take care of business. I just have to, like, keep seeing something going. But as far as Embiid, he's still playing like an MVP candidate. I just want to see what happens when we get Maxey back, though.
We need Maxey back. Last night, they played last night, right?
Yeah.
King? Harden looked great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How do you feel about James Harden's play?
I always thought his play was fine. I always thought everybody else needed to realize that. I mean, it's not like the team don't know. The team know. It's us as fans. I think everybody just need to fall back on the MVP James Harden talk because that's not what we're getting. Y'all not going to get that. We're looking at somebody who in this, I like to say this about LeBron too. They in a Dwayne Wade phase right now. When LeBron was over in Miami, Dwayne Wade took that second role. He was still good, but he was definitely taking steps back. Each year he was declining. He wasn't going up. And that's where we at over there. So like
Father Time's coming, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And he has a lot of injuries. So he has an injury history. Yeah, James Harden. So like a lot of injury history. So he needs to chill. You feel me? And so, like, if he's able to chill, that's when you're going to get the best James Harden. Like, when you seen last night, he able to chill. He know Embiid is over there taking care of business. He can chuck up some threes. You feel me? We got a big guy down there, you know, handling what he need to handle. So, I like the way he looked. Can't wait for Maxey to come back because when Maxey comes back, he's even less pressure off James Harden to penetrate. Because Maxey, you know, James Harden do the fake penetrate and Maxey was come slashing, he'll dish that thing off to Maxey.
Exactly.
I wanted to know how you feel about Tobias Harris.
Tobias?
He had 22, 21 yesterday, last night. Yeah,
I think he's doing very good in this like role, to be honest. It just everything. So for me, as a Sixers fan, or just as an NBA fan, if you continuously make it to the playoffs and we keep seeing you as like a high seed, I just want to see it at the playoffs. And I do bet the regular season definitely does matter. But as far as like Tobias per se, last year we seen like he kind of like stepped up. And I do think he's showing that he could step up. He's gotten better at defense over the past couple of years. He's gotten better at rebounding. And those are like, you know, 2 things that you could definitely use if you tell a player, I don't need you necessarily getting 20 every single night. You might be you're the 4th option most nights, you know what I mean? So I definitely do like how he's taking his role, like outside of scoring, just defense, rebounding, and just, it's hard to make $35 million and still stay in a role. And someone say, you're making $35 million, you're the 4th best player on this team right now. That's how we're treating it. So I definitely do appreciate that.
I think I would like to see them go on to continue. They're on a 3-game winning streak. I want to see them continue this joint or just win out in December because that'd be a good thing just to see. I need them to get into a groove. They need to see themselves in a groove where they like, oh, we feel unstoppable type. Time.
You know a groove I would love them to see them like? A groove like the Pelicans.
Oh, yeah. Pelicans. Yeah. Talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Pelicans look amazing. I know last year there was a lot of like Zion bust talk. I take that with a grain of salt because I know if someone gets hurt, you don't see him as much. But like, let's not forget he was giving y'all 27 and 10 on 60% shooting in his like most healthy season, and he's coming back. And I think he's the best player on the Pelicans. His defensive ceiling is super high.
He's still averaging like 22.
Yeah, he's giving you over the past 7 games, which they've won all of those games. He's been giving you 25 a night. And then it's on very efficient shooting.
He's efficient. Yeah. I don't think they give him enough credit for that. Yeah. He's efficient. And it's something like that's in his head. Like he do not take bad shots.
Yeah, we're in a culture where it's like hezzy tween pull up. If it looks pretty, you're a better player. Sorry about that, guys. But if it looks pretty, you're a better player. But he's getting to the bucket. If it's going in, and I think I'm big on true shooting. I think that's one of the advanced stats that I think are actually like, you know, they actually show how great a player is, or not how great a player is, but how efficient. How efficient they're shooting. Whether it's a little askew for like bigs who are always around the rim, but for somebody who's like sort of still a perimeter player and gets to have the ball in his hand a lot, I think he's doing really good. I do want to talk about that game against the Suns though. You know what game I'm talking about when he like dunks it at the end of the game.
Oh yeah. Of course.
Yeah, the play before y'all could have held the ball too.
Of course.
I like the fire he's coming with, and I like how he's lighting the city up. There was a lot of talk about how he didn't want to be over there, but like the city's loving it. Pelicans on 7-game streak, and they don't even have Brandon Ingram right now. So
right, Bi.
And CJ McCollum's not even playing his best, so they're like a very well-rounded team. I can't even see where they really need much change. Like I could see them being one of the teams on the trade deadline where if they're trading, they'll probably be dumping something or like adding a player for a team that's dumping something. But like I don't see them needing like much change.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I had said maybe two episodes ago, you had asked me about them.
Yeah,
and I was like, it's gonna dry up. You feel me?
I mean,
it ain't dry up yet.
Not yet.
It ain't dry up yet.
It's still super early, but
it ain't dry up yet, man. It got better actually. So I was just like, wow, that's something that made me go back like, whoa, because like when they snatched the first seed in the West right now, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I ain't even see them coming,
y'all. They're being top teams in the West.
Yeah, I ain't see them coming. Just like you said, the Jazz came down. The Kings came down.
Yeah.
You feel me? Other teams start going up, like to where you think they really need to be at. Ain't with me. All right. Now, speaking of East and West, this has been maybe one of the times where it's been like dead even between the East and West. You look at the top 10 teams; it's 5 from each.
Yeah.
5 from each. So, who do you think is stronger this year, the East or the West?
I think I'm gonna still give it to the West just because of the star power that the West usually has. Our 10th and 11th seed is the Golden State and the Mavericks, right?
Yeah.
So like, and those are like teams that I've seen as like the Mavericks are only contenders because they got Luka, but like the Warriors are still like a top team up there. So I don't know who's the 10th. And then
Miami.
Miami, Chicago, and then we got like Toronto as the 9th. Like those are teams I definitely don't see. And that would just be my only edge. Like I think the top 3, like Celtics, Bucks, Cleveland, that's real big. And then on the West side, I know it's definitely like Pelicans and Suns. But my fault, not Pelicans, Suns. It's well, I swear it was the Suns. Excuse me.
The Suns got
Pelicans, Grizzlies, Nuggets, which is also like pretty strong. But like not only that, right behind them you have other strong teams. You got Suns, you got the Clippers, which I don't think they're gonna, go pretty far. But if you think, you got a healthy Kawhi and Paul George, anything can happen with
Chip
that.
City.
But I do think it's even. I'm just giving the edge to the West because of like teams that even there's people who think the Lakers can turn this around. So it's just a lot. It's a little bit more like parity in the West. I feel like it's just my opinion. But what do you think?
I think the East smoking the West.
East is smoking the West. Smoking on that West bet?
Yeah, because you say star power on West side. I think star power on the East side.
Okay.
And I think just because they're younger, people don't give them that edge. I think people give the West the edge because they got the experience. Because we're sitting
on teams like the Cavs,
but we got the Cavs, we got the Pacers, we got Boston.
Let's not forget the Hawks. You know how I feel about the Hawks.
You got the Hawks. Yeah. You got your man's Trey.
Yeah.
Ice Trey.
They're not doing the best right now, but
you got those guys. Right. And then we even talk about like Ice Trey. The Knicks are better than the Hawks right now. You feel me? Like it's that deep in the East right now.
The Knicks are better than the Hawks. I thought you meant like just alright. So the Knicks have a better season than the Hawks. I don't think the Knicks are better than the Hawks. But yeah, I feel it is definitely that deep.
Honestly, bro, them two been going at it this season.
They have been.
Specifically this season. It's like they trying to start a rivalry. I think though, you know what I think too, and we ain't gonna spend too much time on this topic, but this is what I think. I think they getting tired of Ice Trey going into Madison Square Garden and giving them buckets. Because every time he step in New York, he be giving them buckets, bro. He have his legendary games in Madison Square Garden. He love it.
Protect your city.
He love it over there, bro.
He came in with some shoes that said like King of Broadway or something like that.
Because he love it over there. I'm telling you, bro, he light them up every time. They tired of it.
Only when Trae Young come in town do the Knicks fans root for the Knicks.
For real though.
When LeBron come in town, they hype up against LeBron.
But I'm gonna get an edge to the East actually because I think their star power is actually stronger than the West. I think the West got a lot of experience, a lot of old guys over there. You feel me? And I think it's to their detriment. I think this is the season where we really seeing the young guys take over the league, and it's really crazy. I'm loving it, and it's crazy. As a LeBron fan, you wouldn't think, But as a LeBron fan, I'm loving it just because LeBron been dominating for so long. That's how I really feel. Like that's my guy. You feel me? But I'm not a kid no more. He been dominating since I was a kid. Like he really been dominating for so long.
It forces like the media to talk about other players too, because you talk about a game like, you know, we just had Celtics Lakers where you got young stars.
They still talk about
but like more like the new media and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of my media doesn't come from like
new media,
ESPN, stuff like that anymore. When I was younger, but the whole narrative based driven stuff, I mean, we can talk about that another time. But regardless, you got a team like the Celtics, you know, Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Then you got a team with LeBron and AD, and you think, well, that's LeBron James and AD. They got all of this versus the Celtics that just got like this. And
it's not that.
It's not that, exactly.
You seen last night. It's not that.
Brian definitely didn't have like the gas at the end of the night. He tried to hit that game winner, and he was
how about, listen, yo, you know what I was surprised about? JT and all his floaters. This man hit like 1,000 floaters last night. Them Jones was going in.
He adding stuff to his bag.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I never seen
serious.
that many floaters. I know he got a floater. Don't get me wrong. I know he got a floater.
Yeah.
But that was a consistent floater, like a D-Rose floater.
Like Markelle Fultz, you're a whole lot better than even when you started out, but I wish we would have drafted Tatum.
For sure.
Yeah, Tatum's definitely like looking like he's ascended. And it's crazy because a lot of young players, D. Mitch, Luka, they're ascending it seems like the exact same time where a lot of these older guys are just like, you know, coming down.
For real. So it's crazy.
That's big.
I love it. I love to see it. You mentioned some guys that we're gonna talk about in this next segment. We don't got that much time, but we're gonna run through them. We got about 10 minutes, so we're gonna run through them. I think there's been a lot of guys who's having a great season this year. So many guys that you can't talk about them all. You feel me? But they also are showing me flashes of some of the older guys. You feel me? And I think, like we was just saying, it's switching. People taking over. So people got, you know, different roles. So, you know, we're gonna do a little new school versus old school. Who you would prefer? So I'm just taking strictly skill, right? I'm not even skill, yeah.
Okay, we're not like strictly like who I would like have in the place on the team,
in the game. Yeah, we're not talking about stats, historical record, and career wise. We're just talking about off of looks, because these guys are early. You feel me? And the old guys, they got the resume. Yeah. So
that's actually perfect with the NBA naming these new awards after these old guys.
Yeah, too, so for real, to bring some guys back, because y'all haven't changed the logo yet, but we'll talk about that. So new versus old. We're gonna start off with a bang, because you know this is a take that you had that I love this take, and I don't think a lot of people will agree with this take. I do actually. You feel me? Ja Morant or D Rose?
Ja Morant, Derrick Rose. Let me think about it. Ja Morant.
You said let me think about it. Ja Morant.
I love Derrick Rose. I think Derrick Rose is a lot for the coach, and I think I don't think it's like super huge, but I think where the difference comes in, and it's partially because of the league getting better, but like. We can't really put players, we can't say, like, what if D Rose got drafted at the same time as Ja Morant, because we don't know. You know what I mean? He might have wanted to be like a
hypotheticals aside.
Yeah. Hypotheticals aside, just looking at player to player, Ja Morant, I think the athleticism is, things you see Ja Morant do, is kind of crazy, but it's close, but I give Ja Morant that edge and overall athleticism.
I was about to say, do you really think the athleticism is that much better than D Rose's athleticism?
No, I just think he has the edge, though. I just think definitely he has the edge. Some of this, like, it's just hang time. Like, it reminds me of, it's Jordan-esque, like, I've never seen Jordan before, other than like classics. But like when I see Ja Morant, I'm like, oh, this is probably what they was talking about. Like he kind of like hangs up there and he stays there, which D Rose has. But like Ja Morant, sometimes you just like you feel like he's like, dang, is he gonna come down?
No, he be flying. I told you, he fly.
And then like the finishing is pretty much equal. I think where I would put the edge is, and I don't think their defense is that much different. Where I would put the edge is just definitely his shooting for sure.
For sure, and that's where.
So
honestly, I said,
especially in the league that's where they're going to guard the three a little bit more than before. So what name do you have next?
This is another good one right here.
Okay.
D Mitch or D Wade?
That's really good. I think you're going to put it the same way I'm going to put it though. I know you was talking about during the live, you would have, you know, D Wade over. You think D Mitch, the one difference that like D Mitch could add to his game to be closer to D Wade was you said his post, right?
Game, y'all.
Exactly.
Post game, exactly.
But I got to give it to D Wade.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I can't forget 06 D Wade. That was one of the craziest like 6'4" guards I've ever seen. Just like, you know what I mean?
But we talk about Kobe post game, but I don't think D Wade post game get enough love, especially in them later years when LeBron James came over there and he had to rely on his post game because he couldn't do the crossover. Because when he first came out, he had a crossover. People don't talk about that. He used to make people fall. He had a crossover out. Look up the Wayne Wade crossover on YouTube. I was a young boy. I was watching. I'm telling you, I know.
Yeah.
You feel me?
We talk about these fast players. He was one of the fastest.
That's why his nickname was the Flash.
Exactly.
Shaq gave him the nickname the Flash. You feel me? Superman and the Flash. This is real. You feel what I'm saying? He was nice. You feel me? He was nice. Even in them older years, he stayed around. Like he was able. Like he's a part of the championships. Like it's not like he was main player, but he's a part of the championship. So I'm definitely giving the edge to D-Wade because of the post
and defense too.
And defense,
lead the league in
definitely in defense.
All-time block leader in guards.
In guards, exactly.
And just defense in general.
You feel me?
I give that.
They talk about some Gary Payton. It's not that. You feel me? It's not that. All right. I didn't know he was going to agree on all of these joints. What about
it is what it is.
Embiid and Hakeem? Yeah, I'm coming with the hard ones.
Tough one.
Coming with the hard ones.
I'm gonna be honest. I know we definitely did say like we're not gonna do accolades wise, but like not even accolades. Hakeem Olajuwon is like of the best defenders we have like ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to like I love Embiid. I'm gonna have to get the edge to Hakeem. Like
we agree on this one too.
2-time defensive player of the year. Am I wrong by that?
No, you're not wrong.
And then like MVP, Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. I respect him too because like in those 2 years Jordan wasn't there, he took the full advantage of that.
And he got his.
And not to mention he was like he's a top steals guy and as a center. So like not only was he like rim protecting, which mostly like Rudy Gobert, people call him the best defender in the league because he can rim protect. This guy was getting steals as well. So
he was around. They had the Twin Towers, him and Ralph Sanford. Twin Towers, bro.
So I'm going to give the edge to Hakeem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I ain't even gonna lie.
He even gave Embiid some of them.
And I ain't even gonna lie, I thought you might have give Embiid the edge because of his 3-point shooting.
I think Embiid's 3-point shooting is good. I don't think it's as much of an edge in order to give it to
him over.
Now maybe if his threes were like if he was one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, big shooters in the league, that might be that. But Hakeem is also like one of the best defenders ever, arguably the best defender ever.
And he could score.
And he could give you the same amount of night that
Embiid would exactly. Ask Shaq about that, man. Ask Shaq about that. We got 4 or 5 more minutes, so we could do another one.
Oh, you got one more name for me?
Yeah, one more name. Luka or Larry Bird.
I would like for you to go first on this one.
All right. This is hard for me because I really like Larry Bird too. And in a lot of ways, Larry Bird underrated. And then sometimes you hear old guys talk about Larry Bird like he was Jesus. You feel me? So sometimes I feel like he overrated. But something I like to say is I watch these guys play. I watch their games. So I actually watch these guys play. Larry was nice. He was nice, man, and
yeah, he could shoot very well.
He can pass. He could do everything Luka could do, y'all. But
and he's a bit taller, so the boards were there.
I gotta give an edge to Luka because he can drive better. Like he can get to the bucket better through the lane. He got more ways to get to the bucket on penetration, and Larry Bird does. But Larry Bird was primarily a shooter. He was going up. He's gonna pull up on you.
Yeah.
You feel me? Hey, you knew his whole thing was you knew it was coming. You knew he was gonna go pull up on you.
Yeah.
Can you stop it? That was his whole thing. You feel me? Look up videos about him talking trash. That's his whole thing. So, I give that edge to Luka because he can get to the lane a little better, but no disrespect to my man.
Better ball handler.
Better ball handler. You feel me? And like, listen. You heard it here first. When it's all said and done, he's gonna be a better shooter.
I think. All right, so we have a little bit of time for me to talk about shooting. Like it's 30 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Luka's a much better shooter than we give him credit for. He gives you like 34% from 3. There was a time in the league he was shooting more threes than Trae Young, and giving you a better 3-point percentage. And if you see the threes that he takes, they're just because they're not like necessarily always from the logo. There are like very difficult. He'll shoot a 3 where he's double teamed. So I think we're not giving him credit for that. Same with James Harden. He's a top 5 in 3-pointers made, but because a lot of those are like step back threes in people's face, we don't give him the credit just because he's not taking like a lot of spot ups. And not to mention, when your volume goes up, your field goal percentage goes down.
Exactly.
So, Larry Bird, he probably shot like 1 or 2 of those a game, which he was a shooter, but I don't think we give Luka Doncic and a lot of these shooters like enough credit for it.
Talk about step back on 2 people at the hash mark.
Yeah. Exactly.
Every time.
In the league where the 3 is more guarded as well.
Every time, bro.
But I do feel like, we gave balance. So we chose Luka, Ja. Wade and Hakeem. That just shows balance to like,
That's
you know what I
true.
mean?
We did 2 for 2. That's true.
Yeah, the younger guys and the older guys. It just shows balance
Can't
to
say
like.
we a hater. Can't say we a hater.
But it just shows. It definitely shows balance to where like some of those guys in the league can still compete. Even the older guys that we didn't pick, like a prime Derrick Rose and a prime Larry Bird, could definitely come in this league and get buckets.
We need y'all to go into the comments and tell us what y'all think. So it was Luka versus Larry. You feel me? John Moran versus D Rose. D Mitch or D Wade. Embiid or Hakeem. I want y'all opinions. You feel me? We need the comments. So please comment because we would love to know what y'all think. We might read the comments on the next episode so y'all can see.
Exactly. That'd be
and
great.
Just see what y'all think too. You feel me? Disagree with us. We would love to hear it.
Exactly.
Because we know D Rose thing gonna get some people in their feelings. You feel me? And they feelings. I already know. All right, but thanks for rocking with us. You feel me? That's the episode. Listen. Christmas.
Christmas, yes.
All right, on Christmas, we're going to be watching the Christmas games. We're going to be on live stream.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to have it on Twitch and on Instagram. We did one on Twitch, you feel me, just to try it out, just to see what it looked like, just to see how I feel. You feel me? We ain't really tell nobody. But it was cool. We liked it. We did it. So we're going to do it again. You feel me? We're going to do it on Christmas. So come chill with us. You feel me? Instagram and on Twitch. You feel me? AnyHoop Podcast 215. Both Johns, you feel me?
And depending on how early we start, you might get some 2K action.
Oh, for sure.
No promises.
For sure. No promises.
You're definitely going to see a lot of basketball.
Stay tuned on the it's going to be all basketball.
Come watch the basketball game with us.
Yeah,
of course, we can't stream it for you. We're not doing that.
You feel me?
You know what I mean? But come.
I ain't getting shut down.
Tune on to your TV and we can watch together.
You feel me?
Bring your own
eggnog.
snacks.
You bring your eggnog, bro. Your eggnog, your slippers. You
come in the comments, let us know what food you eating, what gifts you got.
And we here with it. You feel me? So definitely stay tuned and slide through. And that's it, man. Make sure you follow us on all platforms at AnyHoop Podcast 215. All platforms. And thanks for kicking it with us.